Hey guys, it's Allie with Fern Companions. Thanks for tuning in for our video today. We are going to cover a topic brought up by Ms. Shar Smith. Thank you so much for your request. And this is talking about what we do whenever puppies are chewing on something inappropriate. When I say inappropriate, I mean anything other than their toys or a bone or something that you've given them specifically to chew on. So that includes shoes, the beach ball, furniture, your glasses, cat poop, even you, wires, the kids' toys, oh, those Beanie Babies, I'm telling you what. Your toes, utensils, your sleeve, your earring, the sand. Now the first thing to ask ourselves is, why is this dog chewing? Most likely if it's a puppy, he or she is probably teething and kind of just exploring the world. We have to remember that the mouth for a dog is much like our hands, and while we explore the world with our hands, the puppies will explore the world with their teeth and their mouths. So we want to keep that in mind and make sure that we're understanding of this, that they do have to chew on things at this stage in their lives. So we need to be careful about providing them with enough stimulating chew toys to keep them interested, that have good texture to them. Some of them, the rubberized ones, are especially good. If you give them a stuffy, any kind of plush toy, be prepared that they're probably going to rip that thing apart. So make sure that we do that. If there is a squeaker involved, get ready to hear that squeaker all the time, because that's a whole nother instinctual thing that they're getting. So as long as our puppies and dogs have enough toys to keep them entertained, how do we teach them that the toys are what we want them to chew on and not my Steve Madden shoes? First of all, if it's a puppy, we definitely want to keep in mind that the floor is their zone. If something's on the floor, it's very likely going to end up in their mouths, so we have to try to set them up for success by keeping the floors nice and clean. Make sure that we don't have our shoes laying about or socks or anything like that. The kids' toys especially, I see it all the time. Constantly my dog is walking by with a Beanie Baby that is not his. So when we find that the dogs are still taking things that don't belong to them, how do we stop them from doing that, or how do we prove to them that their toys are better? It's really easy. Go and get their toy, trade them for whatever item they may have from you right now, and then play with them with the toy. Don't just give them one for the other. That's not fun. We have to make sure that this is very engaging for our dogs. And so if we play with them just for 10 to 20 seconds with that toy that is actually theirs, I can promise you that that adds much more value to that toy than your Steve Madden shoes do. So as long as we make sure that the dogs understand that the toys are actually what's getting them attention from us, and that we can interact with them and give them value and reward when playing with those toys, that's going to teach them really quickly that those toys are what we want them to take, and not the shoes, not the socks, and definitely not the Beanie Babies. So remember, we don't want to just make a simple trade. We want to do a trade with value added to it. 10 seconds is not a lot of time out of your day, but for your puppy, I can promise it's going to feel like a really fun, engaging session. And if you can do it, if you can play with that puppy with the toy for up to a minute, even better. The longer, the better when it comes to this kind of situation. Just keep your puppy involved. Make sure that he or she is engaged in the play and is enjoying it, and make sure that you are always nice and balanced. We don't want to ever get emotional about our corrections. Correcting a puppy for chewing should not be an angry type thing. We just want to make sure that he or she understands that another item has much more value in it than our shoes, our clothing, or whatever else he or she may seem to have found. Now, if you have an adult dog, or even worse, an adolescent dog who's doing a lot of chewing, is not doing it because he or she is teething or exploring the world. They're actually trying to express some excess energy. So if we have an adult or an adolescent, those teenage years, a dog who is chewing on things, especially things like furniture, things that just don't even make sense while they're chewing on, most likely that is because he or she has too much energy. My number one recommendation for this problem: increase exercise almost double. Remember, if they are a giant breed or if they're growing, they do need to have a little bit less impact when they're exercising. However, if you're having these kinds of destructive behaviors, it's really important to recognize that your dog is bored and he or she is just trying to get rid of some extra energy. So double that exercise, and I can almost guarantee that that chewing behavior is going to go away.